Welcome once again in the immortal words of Robert the Blakester. Let's get this party started. I stole that from you. I hope everybody is excited for today's workshop, show and tell. I'm coming back from a big slope from the rating that I got from um, OpenAI ChatGPT during our sessions. Again, this will be a masterclass second part on what we already started, building our brand DNA. And this one will be focusing on the logo part. Um, so far, if you've been with us for the past weeks, there must be a lot that you have already taken in and start preparing. So we'll get to briefly take a look at the brand kit, but we'll really elaborate on the logo, since the logo in the end is a reflection of that brand kit. So before we start off, anything that we want to share, any questions, anything that you would want to address before? Open floor. We are keeping the same dynamics as usual. You have the opportunity to ask questions. If you want specifics that you want to share, we can go over that as well. Essentially, I assume that everybody has already downloaded the first part of the masterclass, so we are aware of the big points that we will be following here. And most of them in terms of simplicity, relevance, versatility, basically the core foundational precepts that we want to bring in today, we should all have a good grasp of. If not, we'll start with a round of question, and then we'll go to basically the process of optimizing our logo, creating one, or revamping one together. Good for everybody? Anything you want to add, Rob?
No, I'm excited
Yeah.
to see where this takes us.
Perfect, perfect. Okay. So so far we've gone over certain step on AI to get a good idea of where our brand identity should be leading us. We also got a few tips and tricks using AI on how to basically prompt it to get what we want now that we know what we're looking for. Just going to open up my AI session here, my open AI session, and we'll take a look at what we have covered, or I will show what I've done following these steps, what I expect you also have been taking part in, and then we'll go over.
Bon, ça, c'est le frigo qui est ouvert ou le congélateur.
So we'll go over any other questions you may have or practical applications that you would want to do. Okay. So just going back a little bit into this conversation that we're building, and you can see, leaving off our last session, I've been busy here with my AI, coming to terms with what I had received. I had done my brand evaluation, and we know where that fell for me. And I had done the logo evaluation, which is what we're going to be looking at. Okay. What I did here, very simply, and again, when you are prompting the AI and it's giving you your ratings, take a look at the suggestions that it offers, because sometimes it will help you move ahead, right? So here, for example, my rating wasn't very great as I got. And what I had done here at first is asking the AI to expand upon it a little bit, giving me key pointers to follow. But I also wanted to show you, since we're talking about graphic and looks, what the AI offered. So in the end, this is what the AI suggested to me. Now, I don't know about you, but this is what I had. So not big change. And these are the one that kind of made a difference. And for me, it wasn't really, well, it wasn't really answering to my expectation. I wanted more. I asked the AI, because he had made a suggestions earlier on what possible thing it would recommend, and I asked it to do so. And you can see that I went into a long waiting period of time, about 2 days actually, and the AI gave me this. I think it was the volume of people using it. Now, not really, still not satisfied with this. So what I did is I did a little bit of work around. So I'm going to show you a little bit where I am, what I've done so far, and that should give you an idea of what I would have expected from you, or what you should be attempting to do or looking at doing. To create, so that I could demonstrate, I put this on Canva so everybody can see. So this is where we started initially. Throughout the conversation that AI offered, it referred a lot to the idea of grid and cube. And I was pretty much very interested with this type of feeling, right? Go ahead, Kim. Kim, you have your
Yeah,
hand up?
quick.
Yeah.
On your Chat GPT, is it a paid or free version?
Free version. We've been using only the free version here.
That's why
Okay.
you have the wait period. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, on the paid version you get it right away. But the other thing too
Uh,
is the things that we're doing on Chat GPT. Do we have the ability to do that through the AI of Nowsite?
We can, with the limitation of being able to produce graphic or upload content. The reason
Okay,
why I'm doing this demonstration here in ChatGPT is because of that added value here, so that I can show a little bit. But AI, the Nowsite AI, will give you all the scripts, the ratings, and such that we went through. And I definitely recommend doing so in that platform as well. Okay, good
okay,
for you? Perfect. So this is a little bit of a framework that I recommend everybody would follow. If you're not sure where you want to go with your logo, and at this point I came from somewhere and I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, I started looking at inspirations. What basically could work for me? From that, I started playing around with position, trying to get that perspective feeling that I had here, right? And you see, it's really a simplification of this intricate design just to get me a little bit of the positioning, see the idea of perspective. From there, again, my big problem coming here was that it was too simple, not relevant, right? Let me just go back to this little brand booklet that I did for the presentation as well. One second here. So I did a little bit of case study for myself here, and this is good. So this was the initial grade that I received on my brand identity kit, and we're focusing on the logo. So this is what's basically what I received. And this is important. It comes back to what I was saying. When you're creating content or establishing content on ChatGPT that you know you're going to be referring to, copy paste it on a document, keep the portions that interest you so that you can refer back to it. And this is what I did, right? So the relevance was an issue, the emotional connection as well. And well, oh, here, problem here to correct that. Okay. So there was a problem with the relevance and the emotional impact. So coming back to what I had here, of course, the problem is it was a little bit too plain. And creating emotion, I felt I could create that with the perspective, hence me going into that direction, right? And you can see here, the next slide, I tried adding what defines me, right? Because taking in mind the advice from chat, it was too simple, not enough clear, not enough impactful to the people that I was aiming at. I make image. It could be making image as a painter, as anything else but an entrepreneur, right? So these small clues, which are part of my brand name and definition, I was trying to fit them in. So I was playing around with those ideas, right? And of course, you can see the problem that I'm getting into. If this is what I choose to go with, then the scaling becomes a problem, right? So I had to revamp it. Also, notice in tandem, in accord to what we are constantly um, recommending, start on white and black so that you can really see the effect of your logo, right? So you see, I'm playing around with this. Of course, this is too complex to keep as a logo. So I went back to the drawing board and tried simplifying it. And you can see that this basically recalls a little bit of this arrangement and the perspective. So it was really just a feeling that I carried over, right? From this point on, I went through the steps of checking. And again, I'm back at the same problem. Very simple design, scalable, but it's missing identity. So I came back and tried to add my name in. I also started playing around with the idea of container, containing the logo to get it more strength, right? Again, in this case, when you start scaling, there might be a problem. So I kept on working. And you can see here, all I'm doing is adding small details. So the creation work is not that complicated. Once you have all these little frameworks that we discuss, I didn't focus on font here because I was concentrating on the line, right? I didn't want to bring another emotion using a specific font if I didn't have to, right? And then balancing act. How can I balance my name, which is the imprint or the justification of the IMI, the logo that follows, right? It took me a few trials, right? But in the end, this is where I am here. Still a little bit of work around to do because when basically this gets scaled down, right? I may be coming into problems. And you can see here that I was playing around again after consolidating the shape that I want to work with. I started looking at giving it more identity so that I know that I'm making image as a marketing or marketing for marketing purpose or as an agency, right? So I was trying that, but again, I explained that whenever you put a lot of things on an outer rim, well, same thing. When you scale down, you get these problems. So I was trying to avoid that, right? Big thing. And in the end, well, like I said, I'm here. Okay, so this is the type of things that you're going to be doing throughout this process, looking at your base idea, simplifying it, then trying to see how effective, impactful it is, and add a little bit more to it. I haven't tested it yet with chat to give me the final rating. I will be doing this during the course of this session to see where this improvement led me to. And I also, in my brand, basically kits, and this is a brand revamp kit, uh, just keeping track of everything that was suggested, colors and such. And I also a brand grid, so I can see where I'm going with this. So do you get an idea of the framework that we've been building together and the possibilities that you're now able to go through when you're creating or revamping? Good for everybody? Question on what I've done. Impressions. What do you think so far from the old to the new? Does these precepts apply?
I like where you're going with it, myself
Mm-hmm.
personally. Um, but I also just want to point out to everybody, this is more of advanced what we're talking about here. Okay. You don't have to go through, how do I want to say this? I'm not trying to discredit what you're doing,
No, no,
but
no,
you
no. Go
could
ahead.
start out with something as simple as what we talked about in the beginning with just your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a corporate type logo type image. I just want to point that out.
Absolutely.
So get started somewhere. I just keep want to emphasizing that. Get started somewhere, get something out there, and then go into the complex, minute details. So, but I
Absolutely.
love what you're doing here. It's looking pretty cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. This requires a lot more work than basically we have covered in the sense that I'm playing with different software to look at what I'm creating. But what, in essence, you want to walk away with is the steps that I'm taking, right? And starting as we begin with your name, initials, and looking at where you're going with the brand identity. And then when you're prompting AI for it, keep in mind these values enough to get you started. And just like I have myself, I started quick and I am called to revamp at one point, but it's always the same mechanic. Go ahead, Rita.
I absolutely love what you're doing. I love the process. It gives me something to think about. I can't speak for others, but it just opens your mind as to the process. And Yeah, you can start with something. I think we all have, but then to make it more meaningful, even to the one that's showing on the very bottom, it looks like you have one in black,
Mhm.
in a circle, and then there's like a light that comes from the background of it. It appears, or maybe I don't know how you did it, but it doesn't matter. It's just an idea of, oh, I didn't know I could do that. You can always find that out, but it just gives us different insights along with the chart that you used to figure out, you gave it a score. You had numbers
Mhm.
there and I think that helps us guide through that process. And it is a process and I love it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Remember, the whole process is now simplified for us as long as we know what to ask the AI to generate, right? And to know, you have to understand basically what you are doing on the scale. So this is really why I did this, in a sense that, okay, well, I need to know where I'm going. I also need to know how to use what the AI is offering. And this is the most important part of it. Go ahead, Lisa. Thank you for your input, Rita.
Just I love it. But just thinking about the scalability,
Mhm.
and you made the smallest thing is the favicon, right?
Mhm.
And whether you had that as a transparent the black on the transparent background or the white on the black background, it would be very clear on my tabs which one is you,
Mhm.
even though I can't see the writing.
Right.
So you have, that large geographic 3D structure with the writing uh, there. But I think it works even without being able to see the writing on the small images.
There is one thing that you'll notice to that effect. There is one thing that you notice is that when you're working with AI, often enough, it will tell you, okay, well, you can use your logo like this or like that, changing the slightly altering the presentation format, but keeping basically the same conversation going, right? For example, what I did here in this process, right? You notice this one here, I simplified without the uh, image label, but this arrangement is coming across strongly. This is the one, for example, that I would prefer at the smallest ratio. Why? Because the rest of the details themselves will get lost, right? So when I need to go very small, I will be considering most likely the core of this logo, right? So it still remains part of my branding. And you, like you said, even if it's small, once you saw the big one, you recognize the smallest one, right? But the idea again is to be careful. The cleaner we are, the better it is. Always keep in mind that what we are looking to level up to are these brand that we have on our phones as application, are these brands that we see out there, right? So if like a major company like Google only opted for a G for their letter, or Tesla a T, or Nike a swoosh, there was genius in this madness. There's something that they were going for, right? So you always want to keep in perspective, however complicated my idea is, I have to make it simple. Not too simple so that it loses impact, but simple so that it imprints on the mind of the observer, which is the principle of branding. I'm going to imprint on your brand, on your mind frame. Go ahead, Marta. Thank you for the share, Lisa, or for the comment.
I love your image. And just to cap on what you were saying, whenever I think of logos, I'm thinking of something that is simple, that stands out, but yet would be easy to embroider in case you wanted like some swag or something. So I'm loving this.
Yeah, thank you. And yes, embroidery actually. You remember I spoke one time about writing in the rim of the logo and then scaling it down and going into these problems. Well, that happened for my logo. I had all my OVRG and I went into embroidery. And we couldn't basically work with the writing. We had to simplify it. We had to remove that, right? So always keep in mind scalability, and it's one of our factors as well, right? The bottom line is really this is a proven step-by-step process that we went through that will allow you without the technical and graphic thing because AI is going to be doing it. I don't know why I think AI hates me because when I saw this, I was like, bro, I'm pretty sure for the rating that you gave me, you could do way better than what you offered me, right? These are very basic, well, where is it? Basic ideas that is set forward, right? And you can see that it didn't take much to create an impact, right? Just adding more, a little bit more perspective in this case. Go ahead, Robert.
That's funny. I can hear you be like, come on, step it up.
Yeah, I was outraged when I saw when I saw that I was like, you gave me this score, such a low score, and then you are giving me this, right? AI is not necessarily the always the right or the one-stop solution, but also did I prompt it right? Right? I kept the core prompting very simple, so it's normal that it gave me something that was not necessarily eye-popping, right? So it's really that, but keep that process in mind. You, in this case, what I'm expecting from you is once you have created your brand identity, once you have narrowed down on how you want this logo, what this logo to be, whether it's around your letters or letters with your totem, then what we're going to be doing or what you're going to be doing instead of going through the graphical work is prompting AI with the right adjustments, right? For example, here I could have asked it, can you do this and add it, give it some perspective so that I get more of a that 3D feeling that would uplift the emotional impact. So small details like that, right? But by going through these exercises, you know what to request. Just going back to give me the UVP in my business profile, in this offer, in this email. Good? So I showed, I'm going to rate it by the end of the session here to see what the AI says. For you now, I want to see, does somebody has something to share that they've been doing? At least the brand kit. Everybody should have their brand kit solid. And we'll look at what is the outcome of your first draft logo or where you're going. Remember, guys, it's the best time. I value the input that you're giving me on my logo because getting people together and showcasing them their work is something that takes some arrangement, but we're all here, we're peers, so let's take the chance to do so. Go ahead, Robert.
Well, I mentioned in the chat there too, something to point out to you. I noticed the square and the circle within your logo as well, which I thought pretty fascinating.
Yeah. The sort I in the prompts a lot was said about the grid and such. For me, the circle remains a go-to simply because OBEO, right? It's my initial. Whenever I'm there, whenever I'm in this space with an O, if I put, for example, the crown that I have on my OVRG on this logo, the connection to my brand continues, right? From OVRG to I make image, you have the O, you have the crown, you know that it's me, right? So small things like that. Remember, we spoke about how do I go from this product to this product, go from this offer logo to this other offer logo, small elements, right? For example, Robert, if we start putting that chameleon everywhere, people will see, okay, that's Robert's chameleon going around there, right? So small things like that, once your main attribute has been decided, usually you will see it echo across everything else that your brand touches. Questions?
The big question, does anybody have a brand identity kit or anything that they would like to share?
Yes. It's show and tell this time. Take the time. We will be gentle. We were very gentle with Lisa, and she only has benefited from what she has done, right? So let's break the stage fear, because eventually your logo has to be shown, right? So better show it in private, test it in private before it goes into the public for general reactions. And then there is a bigger impact to correct, especially if you started putting it everywhere. My new logo most likely will appear in the course of the week. I still want to be touching certain things. I haven't looked at the impact of the colors yet, or how I would arrange these colors, just picking one or two. I will see. Probably will test this out during the course of this exchange. So anybody, or do I have to volunteer somebody? Oh, Martha, yes, let me download this and we'll bring it up forward. I'll share, and you can give us an explanation and we will let you know how it impacts us. Fair?
Sure. It's a work in progress. I have other ideas right now.
Mhm. And that's that is the true nature of perfection, right? We covered work in progress. We're
I think
always
I
going to
need to
be
change my color just because of people with color blindness and all too. So originally my colors were the teal, but I'm thinking I should change it up.
trying to bring
You
it
could
up.
outline the text.
Yes. I didn't do this through AI yet. I actually did this one through Canva, but
Good.
I want to see what else I can do with it.
Okay.
So quick question, if I may.
Mhm.
Sure.
What are the flowers? Is that a specific type of flower?
No, and that was just there. It's just a space holder for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious. Because I like it. It does speak to me, but the other suggestion that Dr. Lisa was saying is to maybe outline as well. Like if you outline the M and the S, that would make it more prominent.
Mhm.
Just I'm not sure where the flowers are coming from or how that blends into top quality solutions with the Z, which is kind of different than normal as well, right?
Well, yeah, it's because I had it with the S originally, but the person he got it for me and then he didn't relinquish it, so I had to come up with another way to do the solutions.
Got you, got you.
Yeah,
Hey,
so when he got the name on Namecheap or whatever for me, he did it with the S, which is what I wanted, but it was just too much of an issue to get it back, so I just came up with that.
I understand.
Yeah, I'm
So
going to ask you a few questions. So I can put certain things in perspective and better understand. Okay, because I had questions around the flower. I wanted to know, why is it that we split it? Because, for example, the flower itself has its own beauty, right? So by splitting it, you're splitting that conversation or that impact apart, right? For example, and I also wanted to know, right now we're in grid type arrangement, right? Because remember, the way people see details or read things, left to right, up, down, right? So when I see the logo here, the first thing I'm tempted to do is look at the M and the flower, and then the other half of the flower and the S, right? You have Martha Spears. You chose Martha Spears as being the spearhead of your logo, correct? Right? And top quality solution LLC, which is your LLC, if I understood correctly, is also part of your motto, your pitch elevator, your sentence, right? Get the top
Yes.
quality solutions, right? So
Yes.
for example, if you, and this is great to be doing on Canva, you most likely have all these elements already. Go back to Canva, give us the flower as a whole, right? Because, for example, if I'm offering a flower to you, Martha, out of love, I'm not going to cut the flower into and give you half. I'm going to present you the whole flower, right? And this is important going forward because the flower itself can become the anchor of a color, right? We expect all flowers to have a color. So right there, there's an opportunity. If you put MS on one line and you have your flower on top of it, then we're crowning your name with a flower, right? And in terms of physiology, the impact will be, the logo will be red up to down. So the first thing I will see is this flower. Who's giving me this flower? MS, Marta. What does MS stand for? Marta or top quality solutions, right? So you want to bring it right now. The ideas, as you said, are here, but they're a little spread out.
Mm-hmm.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, and I'm not really set on the flower. That was just a placeholder. So
Placeholder?
I'm still working on that more.
Okay, good, good. The choice of font, again, is something that we want to be careful with because this font is giving me some emotions, right? For example, I'll let Robert chime in on that since he's familiar with fonts, well, a little bit more than me. But actually, let's take a round here of, and that's going to be great for what we're doing next. Let's take a little round here. What does this font suggest to everybody?
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
Could Martha use a spear as a memory of, as an icon for her?
I see where you're going, and I like that suggestion. Tip of the spear. Spear for the market penetration, for the right, for that cutting edge in
That's a
the solution.
fabulous idea, Jorge. Great job.
Yeah, I like where you're going with this. The only thing, it depends on the mood or the the type of settings you want to, the type of energy you want to charge this logo with, right? Because she could have went with a spear or something pointy, but she went with a flower. So there's an idea of softness that she wants to bring in here, right? Tip of the spear, we're giving it a lot more energy. And definitely that is a good idea to consider. Top of the line, tip of the spear in your solutions. There are things here, right? This is a very good suggestion in a sense that your name reflects the idea that could be made part of your logo. If the emotion aligns with what you want it to represent. Go ahead, Robert.
That's a,
Sorry, somebody was saying something.
yeah, I was to say
Martin.
I didn't want the spear because first of all, I live in Tallahassee and it's Florida State Seminoles and their logo is the spear. And guys, I'm a diehard Florida Gator fan and I cannot do the spear.
So, just
And
speaking
now,
of
now you
the,
see there's no love for the spear.
can't
I'm with
you
you, Martha. I'm with you, Martha. I'm with you.
can't you incorporate that somehow? Because take that out of the equation. Spears is your last name, right?
I might have
Maybe
to change my
incorporate the
last
two.
name.
Oh my God, we're going deep.
But
No,
anyway,
I mean,
my second thing that I wanted to add to that, right, is to echo what Virgil's talking about, and even what Rita put there in the chat. For her, she kind of feels like it's Wild Wild West. The font itself, and this is something that we covered in day one boot camp, if I remember correctly. That font, certain fonts are going to evoke certain emotions, right? Like if you put evil, EVIL, and it's all in caps, like that invokes that emotion. So you want to think about that font that you're using, even in your name, Martha Spears, right?
Yes.
So consider looking at a few different font options as well. But I like the idea of having a spear in your name. You might not, but take that out of the equation. Maybe put a gator in there somewhere, to balance everything out to make yourself happy with it.
Oh, the spearhead with the gator tail, maybe.
There you go. There you go. There you
one
go.
one thing is that there's two to stay in line with that. The spear has a specific shape.
Yes.
A lot of flowers have a shape, a spear shape. So
Yes.
staying in tandem with your choice of flower, you could have that by picking the right flower. Me, for example, there's one thing that I feel when I look at your choice of font. It feels like a vine and thorns, right? It falls in line with that logo, right? Because like it's like a rose. You gave me a rose, there's a flower, and whatever is supporting the flower will have those thorns, right? To protect it or whatever. But this is because there's a lot of spiky edges to the font that you chose. You might not like the idea of spear, but those points in the letter are showing that there's a affinity there with things that are that nature. Or I'm speaking out of line, but this is what I'm getting here. All these little points that your letter has, for example, the triangles on the side each time, give me that plant-like, vine-like, thorn-like feeling, if I'm saying the word right. And that, at least that's what I got from it, from that choice of font. Anybody else?
Thank you.
And there's one thing also that is, well, it's impacting me in the choice of the font. We're losing clarity on the rest. Marta, Spears, top quality. It has that, it's not clear, defined because of that extra emotion that those spikes are giving. Go for top quality solutions. Uh, for me, inspires something clear. Of course, clarity is always a thing. Something direct, something efficient, right? Because that's what we want. Solutions that are quality are always clearly direct and they're impactful. So try to keep that in mind, the value of your name, top quality solution, in tandem with the font and the overall clearness of the presentation. This, at one point, there was a very popular logo going around with cross arrows, and you had letters in each different sections of the cross arrows, so in the middle, on the side, and such. At first, I thought that we were looking at that this way because it's a very grid presentation of the logo. Okay. Okay. Anybody else wants to go for inputs and testing? This is what this is. It's your opportunity to get some feedback from peers and maybe look at things differently.
I just want to say thank you, Martha, for sharing.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. I apologize for. Oh, Kim gave us
You're
something.
welcome. Thank you for the critiquing.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
I hope I wasn't harsh. I am never harsh.
That's what this
Honesty is best.
No, that's what this is all about, though, and why we're doing this, right? Like,
Exactly.
appreciate y'all being here, really do. And thanks for sharing. Thanks for taking action, most of all,
Yes.
Good job.
We're going to look at Kim's. He shared. We're going to take a look at it.
So the first one is what I started with a long time ago. And then recently we revamped the second one. The one with my picture is the one I use for like the business cards and stuff like that.
Cards? Okay. The one with the picture, that one, we'll look at it differently because it's not necessarily a logo. Or is it the center part? Oh, it's the center part that has become your logo, if I understand correctly. Okay, yeah, let me bring that up. Because yes, there's something here to discuss. And great picture, by the way. Everybody will get to see it in a minute.
I didn't do any of it, man. AI did it all.
I did it.
Just had to put the right prompts.
That is what it is, right? We'll look at the first one. We'll critique it a little bit, and then we'll look at the second one. Well, let me just see. Am I showing the right one?
Had a little problem. It couldn't understand Asian language, so we had to go through back and forth for a little bit.
So first thing here, I recognize your use of the triangles, the circles. I like that. It's basically motion and action built in. I like. The one issue that comes right there in mind, strong of what I've been discussing so far, is the scalability, right? When you start scaling this down, everything that is in the middle there will be hard to read, right? Which is the complete opposite of your new choice, right? When we look at the new choice, and if we focus only on the logo, and this is also what you had done. In the middle of this logo, we have something happening.
This is the new choice. The old choice is the other one.
This is the new choice.
Yeah, this is the new choice.
Okay, so then you have my critique on that one. Be careful with that one because when you reduce it, we lose the detail in the each section. One, protect it. Three, prioritize it. Two, precise it. Right? We lose those details. So if this is your final, then it means that you're going to have to remove what you have in the middle because when it scales down, we won't be able to read it anyways. So it will create confusion, right? I was looking at the other one because here you have more clarity, right? PPP 101. We have the world recipe. The recipe is protect, precise, and prioritize, right? So here you're a lot more. The idea behind the logo is a lot more clear, right?
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm good.
So the only thing here, for example, what I would look at is maybe a little bit of the same issue that I had, right? Protect, precise, prioritize. These are strong values. PPP is a repetition. Three Ps or 3P or something of that nature, right? Simplifying the design. There's one thing about logos when you're doing them or brand, we try, if you're repeating things, then there has to be a purpose behind it, right? Or if you are not repeating them, if they are repeating themselves, then you have to find a way to simplify them, give them more power. In essence, this is what I was trying to do with my M and the two dots on top, which were eyes, right? I took away the eyes, got the dots, and the M with two dots is actually an existing letter. But I went into too much of a simplistic approach, right? So the new one I like because it has a lot of other connotation to it. I've seen this arrangement of circle within a circle and the arrangement of these triangles. The more, let me see here. Go back to it so everybody can see. This arrangement here in the middle, these triangles and the one in the middle, this is an arrangement that I've seen a lot, right? So it brings about certain things, certain echoes that could be good in a sense that I am going to remember this because I have now created a correlation with other existing logos. However, I could get confused long term remembering which one is which. Okay, so be careful with that. The coloring, the gold, the shininess, that is great. Start always, even if you're working with the AI, having it create things for you. Try to start always in the raw format, white or black. So that way you can appreciate what is without any other added emotion. And then after that, you can
But
start adding other emotions. What?
but the brand color is white, gold, and yellow.
Yeah, you will bring in the brand color because you already have chosen it. You won't cast them away. But when you're designing the logo, strip away these colors first, do it black and white because everything that we do, just like when we start drawing, we start with a white paper and a black pencil. Then after that, we start discovering colors and adding, right? And when we're drawing, same thing. The main line that anchors whatever we're going to be showing as a final result, always outline in black,
I
right?
think Dr. Lisa is gonna laugh at this one. They still use black and white paper?
Black and white paper, yeah, well, I use paper. I still have books. I still draw. Sometimes before even I get to the computer, I need to freely use my hand on the paper to get a good feel of where I want this to go. It's
I
important.
can't remember the last time I bought a rim of paper.
Ah, oh, Martha has a new one. Let's take a look at it. I like this one too. Let me
But
just see.
thank you for your input. Appreciate it.
Oh, I
Actually,
love it.
I have a comment on Kim's logo.
Go ahead.
To me, it's more natural the clockwise turning. Maybe it's that the Oriental way is counterclockwise.
Well, yeah. Ooh, I didn't even notice that. In
I
the way you're
at the
in the
very
way you're having in the way you're having us read this, we're going counterclockwise.
that
I
was one
didn't
of the
even
first
realize
things
that.
I noticed.
Yeah, I
Great
didn't
job,
even realize.
boy.
Yeah,
You know, it's
I
because
read.
I'm from Asia. You know, in Asia, you read from right to left, you know.
Yeah, you even saw when I was looking at it, I prioritize, and then precise. I went left to right and then down. Keep
Just for
that.
the record, okay? It wasn't intentional, okay?
Well, keep it in mind because even if it wasn't intentional, we just bounced on something that is very important, audience-wise. If I'm going into an
Well,
audience who reads another way, I have to keep
I,
that in mind.
I I don't know if it's the counterclockwise or the clockwise, but last month we did 45 grand, so I think I'm gonna keep it that way.
Hey, hey, that's what it is. In the end, if the logo is working for you for now, don't need to revamp it. But
Hey,
again, you never
Kim,
know what could happen.
I'd
Go ahead.
like to quickly say something to that, Kim.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. You made 45 grand, you're laughing and joking and all that. Accept the feedback, make it better, and maybe you'll make 80 or 90 grand. I yield.
Exactly.
No problem.
Touche.
No problem.
I touche. And it falls into the motto that we defend here, right? Perfection is not an achievement, it's a becoming. So we're constantly pushing for what we can do. And if I did this, then I wonder what will happen if I do it this way. Love the share, love the input. Martha has something new. We're going to take a look at it. Rita, you want to go ahead and time it?
Yeah, I just
Thank
wanted to say also, I'm balanced. I like things to be balanced.
you.
So I don't see the bottom, and it's just me probably, but I see the connection between the top left and top right, where it says one protect, and it's in the circle. The bottom
Mhm.
part that looks like it's part of a triangle that was truncated is
Mhm.
not touching the circle at all. And also, if I were to make this smaller, I'm thinking, why is the word one protected and three prioritize it, but then we are one font size, and then when you get to precise it, it's like this is the important one because it's in bold or it's bigger, I would say, not bolded, but that's what I'm seeing. And also,
Yeah.
is there
There's actually a reason behind that, Rita.
okay,
Because if you don't know who your perfect customer is, it doesn't matter how you prioritize your time or protect your data. You gotta know who you're speaking to. That's probably the most important thing out of the three.
I get that. I'm just giving you feedback on what I'm seeing as someone who may be designing their own. I'm just saying, as you understand what you're doing, but it's important for me to understand as well as you know, maybe a client or whatever. But this is what I see, and since this is feedback, I'm just telling you what I, as an individual, see. Just like
Mhm.
when you give me feedback on mine, you can tell me because I don't have your eyes, I don't have your experience and what it means to you. Just like the one, two, three, I never saw that, but when I tried to read it, I'm like, yeah, well, it's supposed to be left to right, but I'm going down here. So there is a reason for the feedback that we're giving so that we understand what people see. That's all.
Absolutely. And this is important as well because note one thing, Kim. When we see this and you're not here to explain, then we walk away with certain emotions. And it comes back to what Robert said. If estimating 40,000 with this. Imagine when it becomes more clear, more balanced, more anchored. Because it is true. For example, that is one thing that I got stuck on something else and I just didn't consider the rest of the details, which were also right into my face. The fact that there's so much in the middle forces you to have to recalibrate and balance those letters, right? So if you're going to keep that format, make sure to maybe summarize those ideas, because if it's protected, prioritize it and precise it, then that's all we should be seeing in that logo, right? Those letters or those words, so that we can increase or take advantage of the side. And yes, in terms of balance, we have an issue, right? Because the triangles are not complete. And people who are detail oriented would see this. And this is a problem because if I start focusing on things that are not part of your conversation, I'm not getting your conversation. Okay, so very important. This is something that could be used on a major central poster that people could actually take the time to decipher. And this is where that impact would be the greatest. But as soon as this starts being scaled down, we won't be able to see, read, or even take away the message from this. Okay, so when you were using it, mostly you were using it on big side pictures, or how were you
It's
using
mostly
this?
on big thumbnails. Yeah, very big thumbnails.
That's why. That's why. So if this is your final logo, then keep in mind what happens when I start scaling this down. Okay. And and this is something also that everybody wants to keep as a rule of design, right? And I did it myself. So keep that in mind. When you're designing, scale it down. Scale it as small as you can to see where you lose your detail. You might not need to go as small as that in real life, but you knowing where you fall is important. Okay. Here, same content, different feeling, a lot more clarity. I'm connecting a lot more with the font here, right? There's no other emotions. I'm reading the book. I know that the flower there is an icon, so my eye goes directly to the MS. And then on the other side, I look at the correlation, right? Martha Spears, it's screaming out. I know what this MS stands for. I will walk away remembering the name, right? And if I want to know what this is about, top quality solutions. Okay, so you see here a small change and big difference in the way it's received, in the way it speaks, and even I think in the scalability. If we scale this down, let me try see, as opposed to the other one, we will get a lot more. Oh, I cannot zoom out with this. Okay.
Virgil, I see that as Ms. Martha Spears.
Ms.
Ms. Martha Spears.
Because of the MS that could be as that, but usually when it's like that, the MS is capital M, small s, and a dot, right? So it does reflect that conversation, but not necessarily, right? Because you can say maybe it's MS, maybe it's Miss, but in that case, most likely it would have been written on top of the M with that dot S and part of the word, right? But here I'm going I'm feeling more the MS. Now, we're losing a little bit of strength, right? Because the central part is MS, the flower. If I remove Martha Spears and the top quality solution, I fall into the same problem that I had. We just have something that doesn't necessarily give us more indication of what the MS could be. And this is when the Miss Flower could come in. Instead of Martha, oh, this is MS Miss Flower. Maybe it's a plant lady, right? So you are right in the sense that there is a little bit of confusion if the rest of the conversation is not there. And one thing also, Martha, in this presentation, remember I spoke about the 1-2-3 ratio, right? And that actually plays in a sense that Here, everything sort of has the same strength, right? Same letter size for the M or slightly bigger. So depending on what you are aiming at having people walk away with, you might want to balance maybe your name, its presence, or the logo. Okay, so everything has the same weight here. If we go back to illustrating this weight conversation once more, I'm going to go back to Kim's. Okay, notice that we have this in play here. The biggest element in this logo is the circle, encapsulating everything, right? The second element there, which is where we got into our problem, is the triangle. There is one big triangle in this picture that is broken down into three. And we're missing the bottom part here, and we're missing some edges. But you can see that this was meant to be a triangle. And this is why I said, Kim, I have an affinity with what you're doing here. I recognize the shape, right? From here, you can see that the third piece is the world in the middle, right? These were the three central components of this logo, but they weren't the determining one, right? So when you're creating your logo, keep in mind that the central pieces have to be intricate to your core value, to your brand name, to what you're doing. This is what you want to reflect first. Be careful about that. So definitely the overall positioning of this I like, but the details within problematic.
I have another comment on Kim's logo and to that it correlates with what Pinders said.
Mhm.
And I just would move the two, put it where the three is, and I mean replace them. And then to connect with the circle, I would create a base. So the whole so the whole setup is actually is actually resting on the most important point that Kim says, which is precise it, uh, understand your customer or your perfect customer. I just will make a base that will connect with the circle.
I like. When you have a circle on a foundation, it usually will call to mind the rising sun or also the trophy type offers. It's not a bad thing. Actually, keeping that in mind, Kim, if you added a base and that PP01 or 3Ps01 or precise and prioritize it could be the strengthening statement on this overall presentation. So there's something there, which brings me to you, George, because last time we had a conversation, I'm going to volunteer you. Sorry, because last time we had a conversation and you had a main logo and three other logos, and you're giving some great feedback right now. So I want to see what you have for us. Can you drop something in the chat, or have you already dropped it?
No, I apologize. I haven't done much work with that.
It's okay. We are seeing each other on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so you will grace us with great work. We will wait and anticipate, and it will give you a drive to show us. I was driven for the past 2 days. I was like, oh my God, I fell flat, face flat when AI rated me. I have to have something to show. And it's important. Transferring this excitement that we are sharing together to the clientele is going to be the next, because if I'm excited to show that to you and I get feedback that I like, I'm going to be excited to share it with the rest of the world. And that energy is going to become part of what drives me. I did something great. The world should see it. Right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, George, you are up.
Well, normally I cannot attend Wednesdays. I have a schedule that doesn't allow me to attend Wednesdays. So unfortunately, I'm missing that big part there. But I'm I mean things are are getting a little complicated for me. I I'm I'm really very enthusiastic with the health project that I'm involved in. I actually spent some time having some shirts on a polo embroider.
Whoa.
Although I didn't use my logo. I used I at this point I'm using the company logo because
Hmm.
I'm just basically an affiliate there. I'm it's not my own business. I'm creating my business, but at this moment I'm still an affiliate, and so uh, I
It's okay.
I have to work on that. Yeah.
It's okay. While you have your hand busy with the affiliate work, it's the perfect time to start crafting your own brand presence. Eventually, you will need it. And again, remember, what we've done doesn't require a lot. If you can find an hour or two, decide to work with your J and E and prompt the AI, you'll get something out there that can already be used. Okay? And Tuesday is good. I mean, if you're not on Wednesday, Tuesday is good. So we will slowly push each other to.
Thank you. I actually would like, I actually would love to have a little conversation with you that you to get a little bit of orientation on that. If that's possible, I would love that.
Okay, let's do this. We'll do a deal. Okay, Tuesday, if you have something to show me, that week we will book and we will talk a little bit more. How's that?
All
All right.
right.
I'll give you a 30-minute to an hour free session to optimize and push you ahead, but you need to come to me with something. How's the deal?
Wow, you you gave
Sold.
me
That's business.
you gave me a lot of work, so I'll
But guess
I'll,
what?
I'll I'm gonna put some time aside to do something. So all right,
There
thank you.
you go. That is the formula of success, guys. I can tell you this. This is one thing that I was very cold when answering during my meetings. If you tell me that you don't have the time, then I cannot do anything for you. Why? Because nobody has time. We make time. We prioritize the things that matter for us, right? And this time is not time that you're giving me, but it's time that you're giving you, yourself, your company, right? So always keep that in mind. I was talking to a friend, and this is personal development type conversation, but they were saying, you know what? I'm just praying for the Lord for when things click together and I get big on my company. And I was like, when things click, it's not something that the Lord does for you. It's something that you yourself wake up to. And once you start helping yourself, then everything else will come in. The Lord's, the power, whatever power is it that you believe in, they will act in favor of you when you act in favor of yourself. Right? So that clicks often enough that we're looking for or waiting for is not supposed to be coming from outside. It's an fire that lights up. Right? Here, I can tell you one thing. The past 30 days, I've been so inspired when the situation itself is not necessarily the most stable for me. But I was so inspired because I'm like, you know what? I'm making all this time for me to find what I want. And that drives me. Making time for yourself, making time for your dream, making time for your endeavors is actually the real root of success. Right? When somebody is successful and you call them, they'll say, I don't have time for you, but I have time for my business, my priority, what I'm into. I have to get this done first before I move to something else. Right? So keep in mind, and it's a small thing when you start giving yourself the time. This is also one of the things that I wanted to discuss in the drive thing. If you set an hour for yourself every day to do something, well, that's 30 hours a month work in. Imagine what can happen with that. Go ahead, Martha. Sorry. Thank you for your share, Jorge, and sorry, George. And We'll see each other on Tuesday. And whatever you have for me, I will accept to work with as long as you bring something to me. Good?
Virgil, I
Thank
put a
you.
new one in the chat and
A
I
new one?
compromised, guys. I did not give you a spear, but I did, however, give you a mountain tip because the tip meaning top.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yes. Oh man, you outsmarted us. Let me print all that out because you have two. You outsmarted us all. That was actually the right choice. The mountain, right? That pointy, the tip
Yeah.
of the mountain.
Yeah.
Ah, the top of the mountain, the top solution. Oh my, you're on
Exactly.
fire.
There was no way it was going to be a spear. Just I had to go with the top and choose that way.
I love it. I love it. No, there's in my house, no spears, just tops of the mountain.
No,
I love it. Let me bring it
no
forward.
spears. No spears. Lots of gators, no spears.
Let me bring it up here so everybody can.
I love it. Great job, everyone.
I love that.
We will
Yes,
see
everybody take
you
advantage of this
when?
moment, right?
We will see you again when? Monday, Mastermind.
Oh yeah, I said it was only
Got
for an
somebody at
hour.
the door.
I forgot myself
Okay.
and I was rolling into the second hour. If you guys have time, we can still run this for half an hour more or an hour, depending. But yeah,
Uh,
I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm seeing things. I don't want to stop. Martha, keep going. Look at this. Tip of the spear. Very nice. You gave us this one and the other one. Let me bring it up. I have to find a better way to sharing this. And the other one actually stealing my heart. That calming, the calmness that brings that. You see the color there? The play on color brings a lot of well, ease and gentleness to it. I like this direction. Now you took out the MS, however, which is central to your branding, right, Martha?
I like that, but there was a nice point that was well taken. I mean, because of my initials, they are MS, and it could have been misunderstood. So I appreciated that constructive criticism and
Mm,
opted to see what it would look like without the initials. And
love.
I could go in and I could outline the M and the S, which would still bring in the initials.
Absolutely. I'm starting to see things here, like even the fact that you prioritize the shape of the mountain here. I was looking at everything that could be changed, that could be worked in. Well, it's a possibility there. This is my mind going crazy, but yeah, I love it. And one other things also that you could do because here, what's it called? Let me go back to the other one here. You have the MS on top of the mountain, and that the strength of it can bring some confusion. Try to see, you see that shadow here that creates that white and black or negative zone to create the mountain effect. Or try to see if
Yeah.
you can work some kind of a detail like that within this thing, within this icon. Try to
And that
see.
was another thought. Now, this is just what Chat GPT was thrown out there, but I could take this into Canva and then put the initials like within the mountain tip.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I like it. Give it a try. There's one thing about Canva though that you will see also will help a lot. When you're doing logos there, let me see, do I have one here? When they're doing logos there, they have a lot of templates with the letters.
Yes.
Okay. So that could be a way of quickly looking at making changes or adapting, right? Because here, for example, this could be, it's not exactly what you're going for, but this could be a variation, MS, and then you have Martha Spears in the middle.
Right.
We have created that synergy very simply, right? Let me just try to see. Let's
Um,
say,
I,
go ahead.
I have a comment here too. I see that those two logos are very similar,
Mhm.
but I would remove the MS on the one that has this the silhouette. I like the silhouette a lot more than than the one that is inside the triangle with the I guess some of the space in there.
Yeah. It's definitely, there is a lot of room there to grow. And you can see how simply you can give yourself a brand identity. Right?
Yeah, that's similar to the one, and I actually got the other pattern that had the flowers on there from Canva, but I didn't like the flowers, and I was trying to see how I could incorporate a different pattern in there, if you will. But I had not had time to finish playing with it.
Okay, definitely that is the word. Have fun with it, right? And always remember, in this branding exercise, simplicity is key. Not too simple, otherwise you end up with poor scores, but enough simple with enough emotion so that people can remember it, right? Because this is what we're going for. Of course,
And
the rest, go ahead, sorry.
I will put in, I have another business and I'll put in that logo as well. I might as well get constructive criticism on both, right?
Take advantage. Yes, send it. Let's see. So yeah, so playing around like that is really, and you know what? What is funny is sometimes you start out doing this, you get very passionate, you create something that you like, and then you turn off the computer, you walk away for a few hours or a day, and you come back and you see a new facet of it, and it will inspire you, right? So keep in mind when you're doing this, when you're satisfied, walk away with that feeling. I did great work. Could be better. I'll see what happens when I come back to it. And if after coming back to it a couple of times, nothing else pops in, then this is where you need to be. Make
I
sense?
I like in terms of like how it feels, I like what she did, um, where no, I like what you did, Virgil, where it was separate. I didn't have that same feeling that it was the Ms. part. That made me say, oh, MS, and then I went to the name when it has your same initials, so they must be your initials and not giving me that title kind of effect. So I that's just visually. And I like opportunities for improvement as opposed to criticism. I don't mean to criticize. It's not that at all.
Oh,
We just see things. So I hear what you're saying. I got you. I got you. Just know that I'm not criticizing anyone. That's not what I mean to do. I'm just telling you what I see. But I love the look of that and also the mountain as well. And I thought you could put the M on one side of the mountain and then the S on the other side, and then it goes immediately down to your name. So I thought, well, maybe that could be something that she could do as well. Just talking. Okay, I'm done.
yeah, I like that too,
That's
Rita,
good.
and thank you. And I wasn't taking that as like cruel criticism. I was taking it as positive. Just, ideally, and also it's all good.
Okay, cool.
No, here, yes. I mean, nothing that as harsh as we're not insulting each other. That's one
Oh,
other thing.
no.
Criticism is a word that can be taken in a wrong way because it's always often used in the settings of conflicts between people. Oh, you're criticizing me. Yeah, no, right? Positive opinion,
Critiquing.
positive reinforcement, right? And you know, I do music sometimes, and some of these artists will come into the studio sometimes and they'll do things, and we're like, you have no friends to tell you the truth that maybe that is not sounding very good, right? Where's your friend? Sometimes it's like, man, this guy has no friend to just, bro, come in. Try this sentence differently, right? So this is the environment that here we're brethren, we're people of the same ilk, we're kindred. So when we're looking at things, I'm getting, whenever I get criticized, even harshly, I'm happy.
Oh,
Why?
yeah.
Because first, why? Because what I've done has been noticed, and the person who's actually doing this is taking interest in me. Remember last time, like I said, if somebody doesn't want to talk to you, whatever formula you'll use to stop them, they'll keep on walking. keep on talking, right? So whenever somebody says something and that's it. I like this one. Shields up and top of the mountain. Apex. Yeah.
Apex again, meaning the tip. So,
Yeah.
and Apex insurance was taken, so I did Apexa, which still means top and tip. So, yeah.
Yep. No,
But
I
and
love it.
Rita, and just one other note on that too. I love having this opportunity to have others' perspective because sometimes we don't see what others see, and it's good to have that input. So I love this opportunity.
Yes. It's
Yeah,
it's
I thank you for that because I feel the same way. And maybe it's because of Toastmasters. We always have opportunities for improvement. And I will tell you this, when I saw that, I read Apex. I didn't see Apexa. I saw Apex and my brain just went, no, top mountain. Okay, I like that. But I didn't see the A on the end. So that tells you something else too.
it's apex is such a strong word that it screams at us right away. It's the apex of the kingdom. It's the apex of the animal. It's the apex of the process, right? It's that climax. And you have the mountain right there. And mountain, apex, as you said, means mountain, right? But you're forced to acknowledge the A, even if it doesn't strike you, it's there. Because apex is not read like it's not written like that, right? This is actually a strong thing because I know apex. What does it mean, apex?
And I'm thinking about removing the LLC off of it, but sometimes when you're in business, especially when you're in insurance, people like to know that you're licensed. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, no. Remember also when you're doing this, when you're branding or branding across platforms, there are certain things that you will use. Sometimes you'll use, for example, just the shield and the mountain. Sometimes you'll use just FXA, Insure LLC. Because yes, in insurance, in certain business, you have to be declared to even try to start talking there, right? So no, no,
Right.
it's a good thing. When you break it down, once you put everything together and it works, then you'll see smaller details within that you can extract and still make leave as a standalone that will always bring you back to the original concept, right? For example, after walking away from this, if I saw just the shield and the A and LLC, it would bring me back to, okay, I remember seeing that shield, the mountain, with the name Apexa or Apex. Makes sense, shield and A. The A is also that same idea of mountain climb. And then you have Insure LLC, right? So certain elements, once you have decided, okay, this is my core logo and it works in every aspect that I see fit, you will see other things that can be pulled out, right? For example, I'm still going to be using I make image. At times I'll put that square like I am I that I decided or created on. Often, sometimes I'll put both of them or I'll break it down. But the correlation is created. And it brings back to what we discussed. Your brand identity is not just tied to one action, but a series of, right? All in all, I love this. And I love the choice of color. The teal blue is your color of choice. It's teal blue, right?
Yeah, it's like that royal blue with the teal. Yes.
Mm. We're
And
going to
then on
start.
the other one, it somehow incorporated like the royal with the gold, which is
Oh,
fine too, which is fine. And so yeah, I mean, anytime you're insured, like health insurance, you have to be licensed. But I guess with the LLC, just meaning that, I was incorporated type thing. So yeah, um, yeah, there's just a lot going on.
there's a you did something that I didn't share. Following the oh okay, let me just or show it and everybody will see the same thing as me. Like, oh, okay.
And Virgil, while you were doing that, on the bottom of her LLC, there's it looks like the bottom part of the shield is there, but it's not in proportion to
No. Yeah.
I don't know if that's important or not, or something to note, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, it's something to correct. I think this was done by AI, right?
Yeah, it was.
So you see here, it kind
Yep.
of
So that
uh,
needs to be off actually, maybe, or I'm not really sure how they could
yeah.
fix that. How can I get AI to fix that?
Well, I would remove this completely because the idea
Yeah.
is that the shield is basically hiding behind this block here.
Right.
If you do this block see through, then we would see the shield maybe coming right in the middle of the E, since the E is the center of these five letters, right? So this is where the I goes. So this one here is a little bit too much. If you're gonna keep this detail, remove it, just put one of these blue lines right underneath. So
Mm-hmm.
when you're prompting the AI, you tell it remove the details under health, secure, life assured, and basically repeat in the underline it with a blue teal line. That would
Yeah.
be great.
Actually, I think I did this one maybe AI, and then I think I paid for some logo
Mhm.
program too. I think I remember paying like $60 for that.
Okay. And it generated logos nicely.
Um, well, I mean, there were options, but I'm gonna have to go back and look. I don't know if this was Chat GPT, and then I went on the other program also. I need to look into that. Yeah. Thanks for
What?
pointing that out.
Oh, pleasure. What was catching my eye is this here.
Mhm.
This is strong. This is strong, right? It has still that apex. It
Mm-hmm.
has still that tip of the spear. It has still that top mountain climb, right? And it's well balanced with your name, right? You see, this I really like. It's strong. It's strong. It's clean as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ensure LLC could be what base. Oh, remote care. You have your. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Simplicity wise, this wins them all, and it has also that strong idea. Trying to see, it's still two separate elements because we have your name as an element, and then we have the apex, the mountain, as an other. So I would still try to see how we can bring all this together, but this direction, solid.
That ends up being a $102,000 savings
You have a question, Dina?
on 140%.
Dina.
I will tell you this.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, this definitely is something that you want to, a direction in which you want to start going. And keep your mind eyes open. That's what I wanted to say. Keep the mind eye open because this is where everything comes in. And often enough, when you're stuck, it's where you have arrived at that moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
Drop your pen, step away. Go inspire yourself sometimes, right? I
Mm-hmm.
did this. This is what I ended up with. Okay, let me go observe in nature what is happening. Let me air my brain a little bit and then come back, right? Sometimes in drawing, what they'll have you to create that reset, right? When you're drawing, they'll have you actually turn your drawing upside down and look at it for a while because then your brain is forced to rearrange thoughts, lines, and action to reappreciate what you have done. It's that step back, right? So when you're
Right.
creating that and you're stuck, step back, right? The process that I showed you, revamping mine, there was a few breaks in there. Oh man, let me go take a walk. Let me walk a little bit. Let me think. Let me see. Let me watch a cartoon. Some ideas might pop out. Oh, wait, this correlates. Let me go back to it, right? So sometimes
Dinah, what are your thoughts?
Dinah?
She's a friend of mine. I was gonna see what her thoughts are on this,
Yes.
but I don't know if she's hearing me.
Oh, her mic was on at one point.
Yeah. Okay.
Dinah? Okay, she'll come back.
I'll
Uh,
text her.
Okay. So, yeah, look at that. Definitely simplicity wise, try to see what you can add to it to give it strength. Keep the simplicity as being the core of it. Because whatever we do, unfortunately, when we are forced to use this as a signature for a product, use it as a signature in an email, use it as a signature on the bottom of a website, we're forced to reduce it, right? And reducing it will, the strength of it will only be kept when you scale it down if it's simple in terms of the basic construction that you have. Good, good. Question. I want to see more before we separate. Anybody has a last one that we can share? And go ahead, Rita.
Okay, I put the link in the chat. I think everybody can get to it, but just in case, I'll put the I'll grab the from the computer, the file. But there's a link that I put there, and I just have to go to
I don't see that.
look above. It's above. Hold on, let
Okay,
me.
I'm coming in. I see it.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
see if you
Oh
can.
yeah,
And
the chat bot one.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
And this is the beginning stages, so I'm not as advanced as um Singletary or Martha, not to that point. And this is, I started with the Chat GPT. I'll tell you what I'm not happy with. I'm not happy with the diagram in the middle, so I'm going to have to do that. Plus the color palette I didn't understand with the instructions that I gave it. So I did give it and I was looking more towards blue for comfort, safety, that kind of thing, especially when you're talking about education. So I'm not sure exactly why it came that way, but that if I see where you go in now and you tweak it and you tweak it and you tweak it. So that's where I am in my process, but I do know that I need to tweak it. So
I like
uh-huh.
I was going to say, I like the core beginning of it. Why? Because what you are offering, edupreneur,
Mhm.
right, is right there. Education is always symbolized with a book,
Oh,
right? But
right.
education and an idea, that's a lot more. And these are the two things that we have to do as entrepreneur. We have to constantly educate ourselves and we
Mhm.
have to constantly nurture our ideas, right? So I like the core of it. I like the idea that it gave you. Elaborate on that. And if you are operating with your name as well, and we're using the same principle of reducing things to the simplest format, well, you see that pages, you could have your R and your P in there, and that become the whole logo. Try to work on that detail. The icon itself, I like education, the light coming on, the books, and you have a circle there. So you got me at hello. That's it. But yeah, and the colors though. There's three colors at least that I see here. Did you offer a brand color or did you choose one already?
Yeah, I had the brand colors of blue. Hold on. Okay. Um, it so I was navy blue and um gold was okay. A goldish color would be okay, and white.
Blue, gold, I love luxury. So abundance, wellness, oh, sorry, health, no wealth
Mhm.
in knowledge, right? Because blue has that knowledge-based inclination, like you said, is calm, reason,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
that's good. But when you go back into this, first prompt it to get it white and black
Okay.
because that way you can see the lines itself. And
Mhm.
this is important. Because sometimes, for example, you will draw the whole thing in white and black. The lines will be white and black, but at the end you'll remove the outlines and just keep the inside for the shape of it, for the impression of it, right? So yeah, and it allows you to see the raw power of your design without the added effect of colors, right?
Okay.
Because if the colors are giving it all its strength, when you remove it, you'll see that your logo, the frame of it, is a little weak,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
Which is
it should be able to stand on its own. Like Martha's was definitely on point where it just stood out. So, okay, gotcha.
yeah. So
Great.
I love it.
Thank
And at the beginning, um, unless unless you are going to be centering your conversation around fonts or the branding around fonts, try to do without any fonts, right? Try to keep it to the mac to the lim your meaning, sorry, the core idea of your logo, okay, even if it's relying on your full name, shouldn't necessarily include your full name into the logo. For example, RB for Robert the Blakester, and then he has Robert Blakester underneath, right? So
Okay.
RB. Okay. He loves three, so he added that notions of three in his B. Small idea, small add-on. Okay. So simplify things and keep prompting the AI for the graphic work.
Okay.
Okay. Don't focus too much on doing everything by hand at the beginning, especially if it's not really your background, right? I played with a whole to do what I showed you. I beyond Canva, I used Adobe, Photoshop, Illustrator, and another two set of programs just to put ideas in place. But in the end, the whole of the conversation, the whole of the drawing was mainly did in Canva.
Okay.
Okay, so don't worry too much about drawing. Keep in mind your core ID. This is why we started with the brand identity. From there, pluck out the main ideas that you find are the most appealing,
Mm-hmm.
right? For example, we spoke in the case of Marta, how do we make this stronger? If the flower is just a placeholder, what comes in? First, the spear came in, and then we ended up way higher than just the spear, top of the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
right? So small like that. So keep that simple and gradually work things in. But I like the direction where you're going.
Okay, cool.
Uh, Inspire yourself also with university logos and such.
Okay.
It will give you an idea because they're in the education. You're
Mm-hmm.
in these are your competitors. That's one thing as well. Remember, competitor landscape,
Mm-hmm.
right? You could have a great logo that stands strong on its own, but then when you put it in the competitor's realm, you're lacking because you didn't assess what was being done,
Mm-hmm.
right? So one thing, and I haven't done it myself yet, when I'm satisfied with my logo, I'm gonna go take a second look around, see what is happening with
Mm-hmm.
IMI marketing, right? So see what is happening with education, see what is happening with insurance solutions. What are they doing there?
Mm-hmm.
Competitors are so important, right? It comes back to what we are doing here. There's a saying who says, celebrate your opponent's achievements because they set you on your next course,
Mm-hmm.
right? Competition brings value. Just like when you're playing a game against another player, the better the player, the higher your skill will be called to rise, right? That was one of my big problem when I was doing back in the days doing martial arts. People didn't understand, but I like going against the bigger guys because I know that they're going to take me to my limits. And if I want to be more than where I'm stuck, I need somebody to take me to my limits. I need somebody to drag me and say, this is not enough. There was another one, a joke. I think this came from outside, but it was a joke that we were running from inside among friends. We were saying, well, you know what? We need new people to hate us because all our haters have become lovers. They love us too much, so we can't get anything from them anymore. We can't get any raw criticism or truth or challenges from them because everything we do, oh, we love, oh, we love. No, I need somebody to challenge me. I need more haters. They're my best friends because they'll tell me, hey, I don't like this, and they'll be cruel with it. And I'll say, okay. And the greatest success, and this is one of the things that I gave to as an advice to a friend that does music. He says, nobody likes my song. I say, well, your greatest success is when you are able to make everybody that didn't like your song start liking your song.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's for the audience. It's not for you. It's for the audience. So if the audience is saying we don't like it, say thank you for the input. I'll come back with more. I can do more. This is when you rip up your t-shirt like I'm going to put my Superman on. Right? That's it. Right? So appreciate any type of pushback that you're getting. Appreciate the value of the competition around you. Appreciate anything that has an opinion on your work. Don't let it affect you in a sense that if it's negative comments and what type of comment. Remember, we said the nature of objections, but there's also natures of opinion. Right? Some people will give you opinions and you know that it was harsh, but it was well deserved. I needed to hear that. Some people will give you opinion like, I don't know what to make of it. I think this guy just doesn't like me. Maybe that's true. He just doesn't like you. Maybe, right? But sometimes you'll feel it in the energy, right? And this is why I said in this space, it's a safe place. Nobody hates each other here. And I'm hoping to see great things out of here. Why? Because then I can say, hey, I was part of this achievement, right? Or I can even say, wow, I need to achieve more too, right? So very important. Keep an open mind. As it is, as network marketers, if our mind is not open, it means our heart is closed to others' people. We can't network, right? You can't network. I worked all my life in customer service in one way or another, and it was only possible because I truly liked people. Everybody's a book. It's a new book. Eh? I need to discover. And some people will say, oh, you like everybody. I said, well, it's because I like myself. Because I like myself, I like everybody. Because I know that I'm not perfect. I know that I have my quirks. I know that some people might receive me differently. So I have to receive everybody equally, until they do something that is a clear offense. And if it was, what's it called? Uh, what's that word again? Willingly hurtful, you will see. But if I said something, I didn't really mean to hurt you, but it's the truth. Okay, I have to take it in, I have to level, I have to grow, right? If a client tells you something that that you didn't like, but it's how they feel, you're not going to get into a fight with them, right? Separation. I had somebody talk to me once and I gave them simple feedback and wow, it was like, whoa, it went from 0 to 100 in the insults. Like, no, I just gave you advice. I give you my opinion, if anything, right? That's it. So be very open to that. This is the fastest path to growth, and it's the required path for excellence in our case. We need to speak to everybody. We need to be open to what they say. And if we, in our ways, as they are knowing success, then opening our ears or mind to that potentially or surely will bring us to the greater heights, right? Because if I've been doing things that are right and you tell me, well, you're doing this wrong, and you will know yourself that, well, no, it's against everything that I've been doing that led me here, right? But if you keep an open mind, you'll say, hey, true, there is a pattern in what they're saying. They noticed something that I cannot see myself. The biggest flaw I sometimes is to think that we are what we think we are, or we know what we think we know. Because often enough, if we know something, it's only made true when we share it with others and they accept it as being fact. If I say I know things, but every time I speak about it, people turn me down, then I know things for myself and by myself, and that doesn't reach out there. And that's a problem, right? And you guys all must have experienced that. You're in a conversation and the person you're telling the person, hey, calm down. And the person like, I'm calm. No, you're not, right? So sometimes we'll say, I'm confident. I'm very confident. And then when we step out there, right, you can't speak. But then we come back inside, I'm very confident. But a minute ago, we were out there, you didn't say nothing, right? So be very wary or very open to what people tell you about you, because they actually know you better, in the sense that you do things sometimes that are natural, that are so natural that you don't count them as part of your behavior. And it's other people that will say, hey, be careful with that. Personally, personal life, we can be whoever we want to be. No care in this case. Well, we should care about how we are. But in business, it's even more important that active listening. We all have ears. When somebody's talking, we hear them. What is the difference between active listening and not active listening? Well, when somebody starts talking and I start thinking about what they're saying and thinking about myself, then I forget, I lose details, right? Active listening is hearing and staying in the conversation and receiving it with an open mind. And if there's something that was said that can be misinterpreted, this is when you say, hey, wait, did you mean to say this or that? Because this is how I understood it, right? And in objection handling, that little turn, that little thing that I gave you in objection handling is gold. Oh, sorry, sir. Did you just say, just this is what you said, right? Okay, great. Did you mean to say this or did you mean to say that? I took control of the conversation. Let me just repeat what you've said so I get it clearly. And this is reinforcement for myself, right? So active listening is being present in the conversation, but also opening your mind to what you're receiving as information. And that helps in conversation with clients, that helps in growing yourself, that helps in elevating the way you operate. Okay. And I'm very curious, short of that, when Kim, when you do those slight changes, I want to see the impact. I want to hear the impact of it, because if you go from 40 to 80,000, we're going to celebrate this all here. A small shift. And I hope everybody comes back with these type of shares, right? Robert has a great way of opening his meetings on Mondays, offering everybody to share in their wins, and it's important, right? Counting your wins is important. Even if it's one win a week, it's a great feeling. Because if you're not counting your wins, you're counting your losses. Count your blessings. Forget about the rest, because this is what matters, what brings you forward. Okay, so we went into some personal conversation there. Coming back to our logo,
Hey,
the
Virgil.
process. Go ahead.
Hey, on Mondays, what time do you guys?
It's 12 p.m. for a Robert session, the lost transition.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so yes, it's come into these sessions with an open mind and an open heart. Listen. Because, for example, last time you said that, Rita, and it blew my heart wide open. When you said, hey, I've been through these type of things for years, I paid for these type of things for years, but I never got the value that I'm getting from this community. Right?
And
That just,
that's the truth. When I say I've spent at least 50 grand minimum. Yeah. but never, I tell the Blakester, he connects the dots. You're giving it the details and the tweaks and the theory behind it, and he gives us the psychology behind it. So as a team, you guys are phenomenal, but just because you pay a lot of money for stuff does not mean that, like I should have been paying you guys that kind of money for what I
We're
received.
still willing to take the bank. No worry. No, I'm just joking.
Put your Cash App in the chat.
Oh,
So,
you can get one of these.
so there's definitely value here. Absolutely. That and I'm here every week unless I can't, something comes up. But for the most part, I'm here. I'll watch the replays. I'll go to the YouTube channel, give you the thumbs up. Guys, if you're not going to that YouTube channel, give him some thumbs up, give him some love on that channel because that's where it's housed. And that will help Virgil and anyone else that has a YouTube channel that we check out. But no, the money I've spent, I wish I knew you 20 years ago or more. I don't know if you were born or not, but
I was. You guys still haven't figured out the age. I was born, and I was in the making. So I most likely wouldn't have been as rich as sharing that I am right now because I'm so still in the making. I would have been a great friend, I'm sure. Because when you're connecting with people in the present, it means that in the past you would have connected. The energy would have been the same. We would have been on that same path. Let's go and
yeah.
conquer the world. Should we pay for this course? Should we go to these books? What you get out of a course, at least that's my takeaway from everything that I've been through. What you get out of a course does not equate to what you get out of a study group,
Say
right?
that's good. Yes, that's good because my upbringing and was um you rely on yourself. Pull
Mhm.
yourself up from your bootstraps, but the value in the community is huge. And
Mm.
so that part, I love it when, the people in this group with Dr. Singletary was doing her logo and sharing, and there's so much value in just your mind being expanded in what you never thought would occur. Or you're just like, okay, I never thought about that, but that's good stuff. So you start making your little notes and you go in and you start tweaking and it all matters because and no one here is predatory or they give their feedback and it's coming from the heart and it's what they see and how it makes them feel. And the point about the active listening, yes, when people start talking, it's like E.F. Hutton, shut up, just
Mm.
listen, concentrate, don't say a word. And again, Blakester has taught that about us because I was like you. You could be talking to me and I hear the words, but my brain is going like, wee, somewhere else, 1,000 different places. But it wasn't until I started focusing on just stop it and listen. Shut up. Just okay, be quiet. Sorry for I don't mean to offend, but that's how I talk to myself, and I'm fine with it. But just put the duct tape on there and move on. But this community is valuable. It's priceless.
Absolutely. I wasn't a good student, but I got my best work done with my friends and colleagues, right? Because this is when they're telling you, okay, this is what I understood. And no, 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 that's not how you're supposed to understood it. And then at the end, we're like, synthesis, right? Oh, okay. And once you resonate across the board with your peers, you step out of those with so much energy and you carry that over to what? Your next meeting, your next interaction, right? And if sorry, I'm talking too much, Robert. I'll let you.
No, no, you're good,
When
man. I'm waiting my turn. I'm
that's
listening
when you
intently.
when you when you
Send them
step
out.
out when you step out of a group with the force of the group, when there's a problem out there, you know who to call. You know where you're gonna come back and guys, this is what happened. How would you have handled it? And that, oh my God. Go ahead, Robert.
Oh no, I was waiting my turn, like I said, and for those of you that know me, And you stick around long enough, we've got even more in store. Rita got a sneak peek. Virgil's got a sneak peek. I'm taking that lost transition to a whole new level. I was talking to the wife earlier today on the porch and saying I never would have thought that 3 years ago when I created the lost transition that it would come to the point that we're at that is getting ready to just come explode on the internet. Hopefully within the next 24 to 72 hours if everything goes well.
Ooh, countdown. Love it.
Stay tuned, folks. Stay by
We'll
the
hold you to it. Now we are expecting, and that's the beauty of it. You told us the community is watching you, right? So now when you wake up, you're like, I got, I got some people expecting this, right? I'm gonna give them the best of me.
Well, I think this
Right.
is going to blow everyone's mind when they see it.
Ooh.
And
Ah,
here we go again. Like, look, the models that were set. Like your materials that you put in our group are amazing. I mean, it's beautifully done. You inspire people to do the same, and we may not have thought about that. And so that carries on to us like, okay, that I like that. That looks professional. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. How you set it up in the
Word and then
now
Canva.
site. Yeah, the now site platform, how to organize that, so that's helping me. And then with next level stuff, and Blakester's like, he's in Planet June somewhere, I don't know. But with what he's doing, you watch people do better or do more or perfect what it is they're doing. And you get to learn from that if you're watching. And so I always watch what you're doing and I put that in my feather in my cap, like, okay, maybe you might want to do something like that. I watched Dr. Singletary and her designs and her process, and I was like, whoa, that is super. I mean, even hers just popped, the colors with the butterfly, and I noticed she's got butterflies on everything. And so, but that makes you think, well, maybe I should find my own butterfly, like not the butterfly, but whatever. But it might be something that resonates with me, but I may not have thought about it. So I love the perspectives and things that everybody brings to the table. It's something to watch. And when you see people stepping out, you're like, oh my God, they did it. So definitely excited for them. And I can share your excitement when you say you want to see what your kids have done. I've given you all this information. All right, guys, what have you done with it? Did you leave it on the kitchen table? Did you just walk away and not come back? I'm excited to see what you've done. And even though mine doesn't look like everybody's, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put my foot out there. Here we go. And just go ahead. I did something. I want you to know I'm not being a slacker. I did get some stuff done. And that's me I'm talking about, guys. I'm not talking about you. Y'all call it whatever you want. I can talk about myself. We call that self-deprecating humor. Back to you, Virgil.
Right, right. So that's like we want to see your homework so that we can take it and put it up on the refrigerator.
We want to learn from what you're doing. You, I kid you not. I picked up a lot from these exchanges. I pick up a lot from these exchanges, right? Maybe I pick it up differently from what you would think, but they all matter. Even coming back to Dr. Lisa, I saw her work before. I was, wow. I'm like, okay. I mean, back in the days, we would have thought that you were a 3D artist. So much she's learned to work with AI, learned to work with these things and such. So the presentation is not a problem, right? We're looking at different things. And this is when coming to this will allow her to see, okay, yeah, first, you're going to gain confidence in what you're doing because showing enough time and people giving you always you know what, I like this. And it's honest. If we don't like it, we'll tell you, well, there's an opportunity here, right? Just like I said, hey, if you reduce it, this could happen. But overall, I like what I'm seeing. Honest advice. And this allows you to go back in the world and proudly showcase it. My people stand behind me. You will stand with me. That's the emotion that you get. And this is peer reinforcement when you go out on the field playing as a game, any type of game. Well, this is the team spirit. Okay, let's go out there, guys. Let's do our best. I trust that you'll hold this position. So when you're part of a team and you came in and your team gave you love and support, you come back and you're like, yeah, I don't care if you don't like it. My people stand behind me. That's the strength of this community, right? That's the strength of being part of the community. And if you remember, we're not doing anything different than the rest of the whole world or functioning in a different way. When people start, they are wary about what they can get or do for themselves. Once they are satisfied with this, or in our case, for example, once we reach a ceiling, then we start looking at other people, community, peers, example. Just like in natural, a person will eat, shower, make sure that they're good, but then they need to be social to manifest their existence, right? Unless you decide to be a hermit, you live in the woods, you talk to nobody, and that's it. But once you're done showering, dressing, feeling good about yourself, then you're like, okay, what's happening in the world? And then when you're part of a community and that community is helping you thrive, what's the next step? I want to drive this community. I want to be an example in my community. Leadership. We're doing nothing different in this system. We all came in from something, or we all come from something. When we're in here because we're a community. And when we step out with the power of that community. And that could allow us to become more, right? If you like what I'm doing and you feel that you can use it and do the same thing, then tomorrow you step out there with that power and you're like, yeah, I've seen leaders do this. Other people are reacting to it. If I do it that way, I'm working like I'm operating like a leader. Good examples, right? Breed good habits. Bad example will breed bad habits. Good friends, good future. Bad friends, life can become very complicated. And it's not like they're bad with you. They're just not helping you reach your optimum levels. Good?
Yeah. And
Perfect.
I'm going to add one more thing, and I promise I'll be quiet, that the people that are in this group that are here and they're committed and you see them, that's developing a relationship, even though Dr. Lisa and I, for example, have never had a conversation. I've never had a conversation with Martha. A lot of people that are here, but I do know one thing, they're committed. They're committed to becoming better. And so if I'm running into someone who is having a situation or needs help with something that I personally can't help them with, I'm going to refer them because you know what? I don't do that, but I do know someone who does, and you might want to check that person out and refer that person simply because you show up.
Absolutely. Remember, we are networkers. That's the meaning of networking. I don't do this, but I have a friend that does it. Let me get you to him. I trust him. Tomorrow, hey, I have a friend that's looking for this, and I told you you were the right person. Community, network marketers, right? If you don't like talking to people, you might need to consider where you are, or you're going to have to get really friendly with everybody until it becomes second nature. I just want to talk to people.
You know, something I've been saying for over a decade. I know a guy.
Mm, That's
Or a
how it
gal.
works.
Either way, I know a guy or gal for that.
That's how it works. And the art, and honestly, the art of the deal will fall back onto your book, your contact book. I have this opportunity. I'm looking for somebody. Hey, I know a guy. Let me open my book, right? And you know what it is? You're a network marketer. So if you're helping bridge the deal, then you get your per diem, right? You were the glue that made the relationship work. We are network marketers. Remember, network. What is your network? I have over 100 people that I know in different industries. Ah, okay. that should help you increase your net worth, right? So be careful about that and keep coming. We will keep showing up. Why? Because I couldn't find a better place to be. So that's why I'm still here among
You
the
know,
people that I love.
I
Yeah,
lied. I lied. You said something about, I can't help it. You're saying things that I'm already picking up, or like there's a book that's called Click, and there's another one beyond that, but it was written by George Fraser. And he was just talking about this last night. But he opened his book. The first book that he wrote that I picked up was called Click. He may have 3 pages of a 5 by 7 book, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of people's names that he knows. These are networking people that he's met. Now, currently, he has a different book, and that book has over 6,000 people that he knows, that he recognizes, and these are his people that are in his network. And he talked about your network being your net worth. So you're spot on, and I just know I'm on the right path. So thank you.
Bro,
that's
you're
it.
in the zone. You're in the zone.
I'm in
When you see one thing one day and then it's the same thing the next and it's all coming together, there's a reason for that. That means you're resonating the harmonic balance, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. We were supposed to be here for an hour. We went on 2 hours. If you guys stay, we'll go on 3 hours. Hell, we'll start paying rent
I'm
here.
good, man. I'm good. I got things to do. I got the last transition to get
Absolutely.
done.
Yeah, we are expecting things from you. You promised 72 hours.
Mm,
So
we're close.
again,
Close.
thank you guys for showing up. You are making it happen. Without you, I'd be talking alone. And community. Welcome to the community. Let's stay a family. Let's grow in our network. Let's increase our net worth together. Right. And it's not just about money. It's what you know. If you know things that can make a difference into somebody else's life, you're worth a lot more than you think.
And have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see hopefully all of you guys on Monday.
On
Bye,
Monday.
everybody.
Bye for now.
Great, guys. Thanks.
It
Thank
was
you.
awesome. Thank you for this
Oh,
great session.
thank you, Martha. Love you guys.
Nice.
We love you too.
Yes.